Hi folks, welcome back to the Horde. So today is Thursday, not a day I normally make videos, but my life's all upside down with this closing and all that, so here we are. It's about 2:30. It is October 9th, Thursday, 81.5 because the sun's beating on this. That one says 67, and for our friends overseas, 17.5. Welcome to Thursday. Look at this. The sun's been in and out, so my batteries are currently charged. Today's video, I want to talk about air cleaners. Really exciting discussion, but it's one that one needs to have. If you guys remember when I opened up the air filter box on this guy, the only thing in there was the screen. The foam over the screen was gone. Not great, but at least there's something there, and at least you're in a box, so you're sucking less dirt in. So one of the reasons why I've been kind of limiting use of this guy and this guy is the fact that they're not wearing air cleaners. You guys might have run across this on the 185. The carburetor comes right up tight against the frame, and you can't just jam a standard air cleaner on that. You actually have to use one with an angle. Like this guy has an angle to it. I think you guys can see that, right? So when this is on there, it'll be down a little bit, so it'll go on. I also could not get the exact air filter. This thing is known as a 36 millimeter universal air filter. Bought two of them. Anyway, these are actually 39s. The output or the intake on that carburetor, but I kind of stretched these a little bit, and it felt like I could get it on there, be able to slip it on with a little love. You know, if one puts a little swipe of motor oil, you know, just typical 30 weight, just a little bit around the rubber gasket, it should be able to go right on. And just a reason to use air cleaners. I used to be pretty lackadaisical about it until I bought the bike that had this cylinder head on it. And what the bike came in, and it had no compression, and I checked the valves, and both valves were extremely tight. So I tried to loosen them up, and I ran out of extension adjustment. I ran out of adjustment before the valves were loose enough to close completely, and I'm like, this is strange. So, you know, I poked around the top here where the valves and rockers are for a while, and really couldn't find too much. So I said, well, let me pull the head off. And what I discovered was, I don't know how well you guys could see this, but you have a much bigger margin here. And as a matter of fact, if you look closely, you almost have like a double valve seat. That's because the valve, that's the intake valve, the valve has eroded so much that it's actually sitting deeper in the seat. When the valve sits deeper in the seat, it's the equivalent of making the valve longer, and then once again you can't adjust it out. But more than that, you've damaged the valve, and you've probably damaged the seat. Yeah, I think you can see the double seat there. This is the way they normally look, and sorry that they're dirty, which makes it a little harder. But if you were to look at spacing with my calibrated broken drill bit there, see how that is barely the width, and if you take a look here, it's more than the width, right? Well, that little bit is enough to sink the valve deeper and cause the problem. This engine also had more than just the cylinder head. The cylinder was completely buffed. It had, even with a proper sealing valves and so forth, the thing just had no compression. And what was strange is the guy who put the bike together had a motorcycle shop, and he actually knew what he was doing, so he should have known better. He was also running in dusty conditions. He was running around up and down dirt roads, like around apple orchards, him and Buddy, so they were sucking down plenty of dirt. And anyway, so this is the reason why, because you'll wear the heck out of it, and you unless you're opting to destroy an engine. Proper care of air filters. This is actually not the right filter for the box. I just threw it in here. A lot of times you buy them, they're just sitting in the box like this. That's okay, but that means you want to keep the box in halfway decent condition, because you can still put quite a bit of dust and dirt in there, and when you bolt it on, then when you fire it up, your engine takes a nice hit of dirt. This air filter, this just came today, and this is actually 54 millimeters across. There are purists and non-purists on air filters. This bike, this carb is not the right carb for it. This is a swap. The kid told me that somebody smashed this area with a hammer, and you could see you got damage here and here, you got damage there. He had to change the carburetor, and the air box is actually damaged. You can see tape on it and so forth, right? So for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify this whole notion. I'm going to go with a clone carb and just a clone air filter, I guess you would call it, just to open this all up. About breathing, this carb is actually meant for a 250cc bike, so there's a little extra gas available for it. So even though this will be less restrictive than what was on there, given the extra gas, I think it'll be okay. Even running it for a couple of minutes without the air filter, it sounded good. But just look at it, running it without the air filter. Look at all the crap you can suck in. And remember, if through some freak of nature you even get just small pieces of metal in there, you're done. You're completely screwed. So air filters typically cost, like these guys, not that I needed 4, but they were 4 for like delivered to the house, $22. But they took the slow train here. I mean, literally it took 10 days for them to get here. I'm not a patient guy, so waiting 10 days is a long time. Air filters, once again, this is a 39. I just popped it. No, this is a 39. I just popped it in the box here to try to keep it cleaner. This is the one that was sitting in this mess, right? I attempted to blow it clean before I put it in there, but there it is. If your air cleaner comes to you like these guys did, I like to see this. The box, they're in a box, and they're in a sealed bag, and then they got that desiccant in there. I think you guys could see it, right? That's really ideal. Obviously, before you ever put an air cleaner on, make sure you look at it, nothing in it, you know, I recommend giving it a little gentle air nozzle with a compressor. Just kind of blow it out a little bit, make sure it's really nice and clean. I showed you guys once again the angled ones here, probably with a little less sun you can see that better. See how this black part angles, that way if it's sitting square, sorry about the wind on some, it angles down. So I believe for the 185 that's going to work a lot better. And if you don't use an air filter, you eat up the valves. I have joked, like on the Cushman here, I literally have a sock doing the air filter thing. Right, if I lift the seat up and show you, there's literally a sock over the air cleaner. Ideal? No. Dangerous? To some extent, right? If the sock shreds, it's going to eat it. Hopefully that won't do any damage to the engine. And how effective are socks as air cleaners? It's not much of a sock. If you remember, actually I didn't show you, but on those Honda snowblowers, the air filter was not much more than a mesh. And the reason why they could get away with that is in the winter, if you suck in some snow particles, that's really not going to hurt anything. Typically when there's snow on the ground, there's not a lot of dust on the ground. And an air filter, you know, like these, if you're running them through snow, fine powdered snow, these could have a tendency to clog up, right? They'll fill up with snow, where with the mesh, I guess the mesh is set up so that the fine snow particles could pull right in. Alright, so this is my big air cleaner video. Basically, my comment to you all is use air cleaners. Unless you want to destroy an engine, use your air cleaners. Okay folks, thank you for watching and commenting and subscribing. We'll catch you on the next episode of The Horde. Until then, I got leaves to clean up and air filters to install and all kinds of dumb things to do. So I should get to it. Take care, keep your feet down, keep your heads up, and enjoy all your days. Bye now.